Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Bryce Koon. We welcome you in on a Wednesday evening, September, I guess it's the 16th, 2025. Getting ready for week 4 of college football. Ralph Leary, Will Mann is going to be joining me as we dive into some of the SEC games, big out-of-conference potential upset matchup. And yes, we're going to spend a large portion talking Sooners and Tigers out there in Norman. Welcome in, like the stream, repost with your friends, and gather in. Let's talk some college football.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.
Welcome in. My name is Bryce Koon alongside Ralph Leary and Will Mannis. Week 4 is upon us as we get ready to talk some college football here on the September the 17th, not the 16th. I had to write a check, and I wrote it the 16th, and I messed that up today too. First, I wrote a check. How is that weird? Do we still do things like that?
Yeah, I do.
Not while we were late.
What is a football? Well, Dev, you've entered the right show. Will, what did you write a check for recently? What's the most thing you wrote a check for? What do you write checks for?
I had to get the roof replaced on my storage room.
Ooh. I bet Jonesy could probably look up the location of your storage unit using public records somehow because he finds about everything else out. But
why we got to get into that?
Let's keep that in-house. Appreciate you tuning in here on a Wednesday evening. Week 4 college football, guys. I wanted to start off with this. We're a quarter of the way through the season now. 3 out of the 12 games. Will, I'm hesitant to ask you, what have you learned through three weeks of college football? And it's kind of wild that we're a quarter of the way through the regular season.
A lot, actually. We've learned that Clemson is not very good. They were kind of the chalk pick to win the ACC, and it's going to be very tough for that to happen. The top quarterbacks in the country, who we thought were the top quarterbacks coming into the season, are playing closer toward being the bottom 5 quarterbacks in the country, but and not the top 5. Talking about Cade Klubnik, Arch Manning, DJ Lagway, Garrett Nussmeier, throw him in there. But, like you say, it's a long season. We're only a quarter of the way through. The old cliche is that defense is ahead early, and that could just be the case. Defenses across the country are ahead through the first 3 weeks of the year.
Ralph, what have you learned?
Kind of go off what Will just said. All the quarterbacks we kind of had hyped up in our top 5 have not been there this year. 2 of them mostly. And DJ Lagway and Arch Manning really have not shown the potential that we thought they had this year and what we expect out of them, honestly. I mean, I saw it in person. You saw it on TV. Most people did. And Lagway threw 5 interceptions last week.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll give you 2 or 3 of them were pretty good plays. 2 of them were just bad passes. So,
yeah. Joe says, Will you still use a car phone too, resident old man? He really uses a bag phone.
My first vehicle has a car phone. An old school 1990s car phone mounted in the floorboard underneath the radio.
I don't know how many. Maybe if once we hit 4,000 subscribers, we got, I think, 650 left to go to get there. I might release an unreleased video of Will that I found of him in the orange Jeep that he used to have.
Wow.
It was in the parking lot of a undisclosed college group. And, well, I don't know if you remember what you said on the video. It's
I don't. That's why I'm making this face. I don't remember
it's a viral. It's nothing that would get you canceled. It's just, do you remember one of those like viral, and I'm really going to make ourselves feel old to some of the audience. The vines, it was a viral vine that you enjoyed quoting. And it literally popped up on my Snapchat the other day. So that's 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. we'll drop it. You don't say anything insensitive or anything. So it's a good incentive to get us there. But nonetheless, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the channel.
I don't care. So put it out there. I don't care.
Before we really dive in, I did want to announce that Dev. Yeah, see, I knew this was going to be the issue. Grown man using Snapchat. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. I'm utilizing Snapchat for one reason and one reason only. I have one friend that has a Android, and so it's easier to talk with him on Snapchat.
Also, this video would have been taken like 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, this video was
maybe longer.
I think that you want me to look it up real quick because it was literally on my.
It's probably 6 years ago.
I mean, Gavin was probably just a fetus by then.
It would have been 6 years ago before.
I'm so old because I'm going like this on my phone. Like,
Oh my gosh.
where do you even go for this? Like, where would you look at this at?
They call it memories or something, I think.
Yeah, where is that?
We don't even know.
I don't even know.
We have Snapchat download. We don't even know what to do with it.
Whatever. The discover page of Snapchat is not healthy. It's not healthy for you.
I don't know what you
I know some other person's social media discover page that should not be released either.
Now, see, Ralph, now you've made it sound like I'm looking at weird stuff on the internet and truthful.
Let's get into that.
I didn't say anyone's name. I just said someone.
Let's unpack that. How's the weather in your heart?
Let's unpack that. No, that's fine. I'm
should
good.
not unpack any of that. Any of the 50 videos sent me yesterday.
Yeah, it was bad. I don't send them to Will because he's like actually in a workplace, and so I feel weird like if he pulls it up and like walking to the bathroom or something like that, and someone looks over his shour. So, anyways,
I'll just say this before you finish. All I'll receive is a text from Bryce saying, "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just send a
all
lot
I
of
get.
sorry.
I just get a sorry. I'm on a roll. I'm on a heater. That's what he got. He hit me today. He said, "I'm on a heater today." That's what he sent me yesterday.
That's the worst thing that could happen.
Gosh, dude. Okay.
He will eat the table. I'm quoting.
This is pre-20. This is pre-COVID, Will.
Gosh. So yeah, 6 years ago.
Well, when did you have the Jeep? Or when did you get rid of it? Yep, here it is right here. This is January of 2020. No sound, but that's it right there. I don't remember what you said. It's an elite clip. You can get the audio if you have 4,000.
I can't even read my own lips.
Pre-COVID, I was like 5 years old.
Jeez.
Wild. Get us to 4,000 subs.
And we'll release the audio. Release the audio
what
tape.
that video was.
Let's dive in. I've made an addendum to the schedule because I can do that. So, Ralph, go all the way down to the bottom. You mentioned this, and it sparked my interest, Will. Let's talk about it. Dabo Swinney with a borderline meltdown at his press conference the other day.
Is this how we're spelling Swinney now?
Yeah, because I don't. This is what I'm doing because I don't really necessarily respect the fact of how he handled the press conference. No, I'll correct it. But in all seriousness, when you look at how he handled that, okay, like let's just dive in there because this is something that is. I kind of thought it was a little bit uncalled for, to be honest with you. And I was on the other side of a press conference on Saturday night that drew a lot of attention. Dabo Swinney's press conference where he is just continuously stating that like he'll go somewhere else if they want to fire him. Look, he's built up a lot of street cred with Clemson. And I think there's a tale of two stories with this. One, be careful what you wish for if you're Clemson in terms of getting rid of Dabo Swinney. But also him saying, what about the standard of like, why is our standard this? And what about places that haven't won anything? Like, who made that up? You did, because you've won. You created the standard. So I don't know, man. A lot of wild back and forth conversation between Swinney. It went on for 13 minutes. I think the whole thing was about over an hour. So wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Swinney's meltdown and just the way, I guess, you approach things. You're 1-2 going into this week. They're playing Syracuse. They're 17.5-point favorites, which is an interesting line to me to begin with. But Will, I'll start with you here. Sweeney's presser, I know you saw some of the clips. Is it just like what's happening? What is happening in Anderson, South Carolina?
I don't know. I think Dabo's kind of testing everybody is what it seems like, because everything he said is right. I mean, he's the greatest coach in Clemson football history. I think we can say that. He has elevated them to a standard that is next to impossible for anybody to live up to, especially at a place like Clemson where it had never been done before. And it was really unprecedented for someone to go into a program the size of Clemson, especially you think of Dabo, no head coaching experience when he took over, and quickly had them a national title contender and winner. So he's exactly right. Factually, what he's saying is factually correct, but I think it's like he's just testing. He's like, okay, you think you can do better? Pay me the money that you contractually are obligated to pay me, and try with somebody else if you don't think I can get it done. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird stance to take. You're only 1-2, but I can understand his frustration too for the same reasons. Like, who are you going to get that's better than me? Is just his attitude, and part of me likes it, but the other part is like, man, it's probably best if you just leave this alone and say, look, we're working to do better. It's not good enough. Do the normal coach speak stuff.
Brian Jones says it was tacky. Ralph, I tend to think it was a little tone deaf, I guess is the word I would use. Like, it's not that he said things that were wrong, but it's, just one of those things where a little over the top for me.
Well, it's the second time this year he's had a clip on a post-game press conference or a week press conference where it's gone viral for what he said. You go back to week 1 when he said that LSU scored a 55%, and they would have scored a 52%, something like that. Just terrible analogy. And you go back to when he was getting yelled at by Tyler from Spartanburg. I mean, those things. He's had some crazy press conferences in the past year and a half, 2 years, but I kind of agree with Will. I get it. I mean, the dude's been the most successful coach at Clemson, and yeah, they're having a bad stretch right now. It's just not going well. But you can't put full blame on Dabo at this point. I mean, the players are not playing really well. I mean, you can't go out there and tell Clubby what to do every play and hold his hand.
Yeah,
and the head coach can only be blamed for so much. Obviously, he can make a change at quarterback. He can make a change at coordinators at the end of the year or mid-year, or whatever, But at the end of the day, he's kind of just running the team. He's not out there making all the calls and making all the plays. So, I get he's frustrated. I can promise you right now, though, there's not a more annoyed or pissed off person in the world right now for how Clemson's performing than Dabo Swinney. And you can tell by his frustration in this presser. It's just like, yeah, he knows how bad they're playing. He's coaching this team. He's with them every day. He's annoyed. He's mad. But
yeah.
Like, I agree in your way too. It's like it's kind of tone deaf. It's just not. It wasn't really warranted. I feel like, but like, I guess when you finally snap, you just finally snap.
I agree with you that the sentiment, and we talk about this a lot with coaches and fans think that they have more invested than the coaches and players, and they don't. I mean, I guess some may feel like they do, the big donors, right, in terms of their financial investment. But I think the big thing for me with Dabo was the comment of, maybe it was the way that it was said, like you talked about, Will. It was almost like a challenge to the administration. And I don't think anybody was really coming after him other than, and I had to go listen to the question, other than like social media stuff. It was really just kind of this like weird one-off, like, let me just go on this tirade real quick. And I don't really know if anybody asked for it in that way.
I mean, yeah, it's coming from the fans. I don't think the Clemson administration, I mean, you can't really say that they don't care, because I'm sure they do care, but it's like they're kind of in the same boat of like, we can't get anybody better than him. I mean,
the guy's probably got a lifetime contract verbally, correct? Like, is that,
Yeah.
I mean, as long as he wants to be there.
You want to leave.
Yeah, it's just it comes off as weird. It just comes off as weird.
It's weird. I thought the challenging of it felt like it was a challenge to the administration. Like, I'll go somewhere else if they don't want me. It's like, well, who's saying they don't want you? Like, I mean, if you listen to Tyler from Spartanburg, right? I mean, he's not the one making the decisions. It's just, it's interesting. I'll say this. Some comments, like Dev says, Dev is human of the day, y'all. This is a normal human response to immense disappointment. If that's the response that you have to that, then I don't think you can get angry with Brian Kelly and his response.
Yeah, but
he was also ticked off.
Right, that's what I was going to say. And like Brian Kelly's is immediately after the game when your emotions.
This is what 2 days later.
This is 2-3 days later from Dabo and just kind of going off the rails.
Yeah. Dabo Swinney's presser. Interesting stuff. All right, let's get to the games there, fellas. Do we just
simple?
That's crazy. All right. Big one out in Norman. The Sooners 6.5-point favorites. The over-under at 47.5. I'll tee it up for both of you fellas to get after this, and then I'll offer my thoughts. This is an opportunity, and we've talked about this. This is an early season chance to stake your claim in the SEC race, an early chance to get a leg up in the playoff race. Hugh Freeze told the media this week that he feels like they're going to Norman to face one of the best teams in the country and to face one of a potential playoff team. Joe the Pilot's already thrown his alternate spread in there. Joe, put your money where your mouth is, Joe. You might make some with our friends over at FanDuel. That being said, Oklahoma enters this game as a 6.5-point favorite, fellas. There's a lot of storylines, right? John Mateer, the replacement for Jackson Arnold. Arnold heads back to Norman. Brent Venables. By the way, I was on this call last week when someone, God, the SEC teleconference call is just a absolute comedy club. I mean, we should have to pay to be a part of it.
I mean, why do we still have it in 2025? That seems like a very outdated.
I'll say this. I enjoy it because if I didn't get a chance to ask Kelly something, then I'm like, oh, I can ask him right here, in terms of that. But some of the questions, like Shane Beamer was asked 4 questions this week, wasn't asked anything about Lenora Sellers, which is just a wild concept. Brent Venables is asked the question about Jackson Arnold last Wednesday. So not even their game heading into that road at Temple, which is the middle finger to the Owls. But he really said, I don't care. He was like, I mean, I'm focused on what we have here. I don't care. So people are going to run with that quote. But we'll start with you here, man. Auburn, Oklahoma. This is a big one. This is one I think you had circled on the calendar to know how real is this Auburn team going to be. Yep. Got to go on the road and get it done in what should be a pretty tough environment, although Auburn fans on social media have said nothing like Jordan Hare on a Saturday night, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. The biggest thing for Auburn, the biggest advantage Auburn has is they've already gone on the road against a good team and won. Doing that against Baylor, but I don't feel good about this game. I'm sitting here looking for my Tums right now, just thinking about this game. It's as an Auburn fan, I'm not feeling great about it. Auburn is. I don't think Auburn's in a very good spot heading into this game. I think after the last 2 weeks for Auburn against inferior opponents. Especially South Alabama, Auburn did not look great. And I've had some friends some Georgia friends talk about, well, everybody says Auburn's good, using good and Auburn in the same sentence. And my response has simply been, I've never seen a good Auburn team that can't tackle. And I got a ton of questions about Auburn's defense, schematically from DJ Durkin, play calling from DJ Durkin, and just flat execution, which the execution part I'm not as worried about or as concerned about because we knew going into the season Auburn's going to play a lot of young guys all through that defense. So you're going to just have to live with some missed assignments, especially here early in the year. But now, we're going into game 4. Mm-hmm. You should know who you're going to play, who's going to get the majority of the snaps, and those got to be the guys that make the majority of the plays. But Hugh Freeze was asked this week about defensive rotation. He said, well, I'm going to have to – first he goes, well, I'm going to have to talk to DJ about that. I'm talking about DJ Durkin. It's like, wait a minute, the head coach isn't directing the defense at all? But he didn't anticipate that. So we're looking at seeing 25, 26, 27, 28 guys getting snaps on defense, which worries me. And it really worries me because Auburn's defense has basically been one guy this year. If you look at the numbers, the leading tackler, I heard it, Kieron Crawford, edge rusher, leading tackler for Auburn. He's got 16 tackles, but that's only good for 27th in the conference. Now he leads Auburn in tackles. He leads Auburn in sacks with 3. And he even leads Auburn in interceptions with 1. So I would imagine Oklahoma is going to try to scheme Kieron Crawford out of this game. But that leaves opportunity because Auburn does have good depth at defensive line. On the other side of the defensive line is Keldrick Falk, who everybody thought was coming into the season was going to be the best player. The storylines I'm not really worried about. You kind of touched on them with Jackson Arnold. I'm not really worried about that. I think Jackson Arnold has moved on. He's really embraced Auburn and has fit in really well, not just with the team and playing well like he's played well the first 3 games, but just settled into life in Auburn. And you know, like Brent Venables said, I think Oklahoma's kind of moved on. He did have a comment that this week to Jackson Arnold, he's the same guy, which, I mean, of course you're going to say that after 3 games. So, man, I don't know. If I'm picking this game, I worry about Auburn on defense. How is Auburn going to stop John Mateer? And, you know, what I'm anticipating from Oklahoma is very similar to what Baylor did against Auburn. Get the ball out quick. Don't mess with the pass rush. And just kind of challenge Auburn to make tackles, which Auburn has not been able to do. Offensively, I think Auburn should be okay. I just don't. I haven't seen enough to feel confident to know what's coming. The best thing for Auburn offensively is Damari Austin should be back full go. He was back full contact in practice this week after sitting out the last 2 games, which all the reports were he could have played those last 2, but they kept him out for this game. But there needs to be more balance. I've not liked Auburn's dependence on running the ball, which feels weird for me to say, but you think about all those playmakers on the outside, you want Auburn to throw it a little bit more. But picking this game, I'm taking Oklahoma -6.5 and taking the over. It's more about questions about Auburn, and you know, I hope that Auburn can keep this within 10 for the final score. Because if this is a blowout, I'm going to be very, very, very concerned with Auburn the rest of the way. I think Auburn can compete. I think Auburn can score with this Oklahoma offense, but I worry that they're not going to get enough stops, and the explosives are going to really hurt Auburn.
Before I get to you, Ralph, Oklahoma, the initial injury report just came out. Oklahoma has 8 offensive linemen on the initial injury report. 3 of them are out. 1 is probable, and 4 are questionable. It does sound like those guys are going to play. Zion Kearney is probably going to play there for Oklahoma, productive receiver for them. Ralph, Will kind of gave the lowdown on Auburn. What do you think about Oklahoma on this side of things? Home game. The big question I have is, can Brent Venables scheme it up against a better offense? I think Auburn's offense is better than Michigan's, and they're going to try to spread you out a little bit more, a little more speed maybe than the Wolverines had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously, what we've seen out of John Mateer this year has been impressive. Obviously, you know, he slings the ball around. He's a Heisman favorite for a reason right now. But they're going to have to move the ball around because this defense is good still. I think. I mean, they're without Jay Crawford right now. I know that's doubtful, and Amarius Williams are doubtful. So those are 2 huge losses in this defense. But you know, I've seen this team in practice, and you know, and we saw them in week 1 against Baylor, and they rotate 20 guys. Yeah, that's not a knock to anyone else in the country. This team's they got depth, and they feel confident in that depth. And then, you know, some of those positions have been kind of, you know, lacking compared to the starters and, you know, the normal 11 guys out there. But, you know, they fill in pretty well. And I feel like this defensive line is going to have a pretty much a great game. With this offensive line kind of, you know, not the same normal 5 guys. I mean, that goes a long way when you don't have your starting 5 at an offensive line and facing a pretty solid defensive line and guys who can, you know, rush the ball, cause havoc in the front line, you know, and rush, you know, and be a run stopper. This defensive line's got a lot of guys like that, and then they rotate them all out. I hate that Marius Williams is not playing. That's a bigger loss than people realize. Great edge rusher. Sets the edge very well, can kind of back off in coverage if he needs to. He's fast. But Will mentioned Keldrick Falk a minute ago. This is the guy that's going to have to step up. This is going to be his huge game. Can Oklahoma find a way to stop Keldrick Falk? And can they stop, Jackson Arnold? I know they know this quarterback better than anybody. That's very well known. But do they know him well enough in this offense with this kind of weapons he's got this year? Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton's playing this week. He said he was a little banged up, but he feels better. Mario Austin's back for him, and he's had 2 weeks off. And what is Brent Middles going to do? He's going to have to contain Arnold. Cannot let him run the ball. You can't let him. You got to let Arnold beat you with his arm. That's the one thing they would do. Make him sit back there and throw the ball the entire game. Because if you're going to find a way to win, make him make mistakes. I agree with Will, though. If I take a pick, I'm taking Oklahoma. I don't know if I want to take the spread, but I do take the over also. I can see this kind of being a back and forth game first, and it kind of settles down, and Oklahoma takes a late lead and just holds on to it. It's like a 10-point lead, but it could just be like a 3-point lead, take a late field goal and hold on to the end of the game.
I like both of the defenses in this game. I think they're going to be well coached, well prepared for what they are facing. I guess for me, when I look at this, Ralph, it really is kind of what you said. Like if I'm Oklahoma, I'm making them throw the ball on me. We've heard a lot about these receivers and how talented Auburn has. Has Jackson Arnold been forced to throw the ball and beat you? Not yet, really. They ran the ball a lot in that game against Baylor with him. If Oklahoma corrals Arnold and makes him beat with his arm, I think that's the big question mark, and that could be the big key factor in this game. If he goes out there and beats you with his arm, then you probably tip your cap and say, man, this Auburn offense is more far along than we even thought they were. If not, then the conversation for Auburn becomes, okay, how can you, with some interesting games coming up, how can you develop the passing game? For Oklahoma with John Mateer, I will say this, Mateer has a 68% completion percentage. Not a career guy in terms of completion, but he's a gamer. And I think he is a guy that is going to win you some football games. He's going to make the big plays. I trust Mateer at home over Arnold on the road. I think Oklahoma wins this game. I will say, though, if Auburn was at home, I'd probably be taking the Tigers to win at home. I think the home field advantage has a lot to do here with this one. So I'm taking the Sooners. Give me the points as well. Ralph, I'm kind of sitting in that range where we all are. I think we picked the same thing. This could be like a Oklahoma 31, Auburn 21, like a 10-point game, maybe a touchdown or field goal late makes it a 2-possession game. I want to go back to you, Will, before we get off of this. Outside of Jackson Arnold being able to just sling the ball around the yard, and Eric Singleton did say this week and during media availability that this was an offense that has not shown everything quite yet. What do you think about that, and what do they need to show for you to flip your pick?
In short, I hope they haven't shown everything they have, because if they have, it's a huge problem. In a lot of ways, like I said, they've invested so much money into this wide receiver group. Cam Coleman being the number one, the big time guy, and pretty much all his catches have been little hitch routes. And he's great because he can catch them and turn and make a guy miss. But I mean, this is a guy that we were told was going to go up and go get balls and make plays on 50-50s. What am I going to have to see? I'm not sure. I think it's more out of the passing game, which I think we are going to see a little bit more. At least I hope. The biggest fear for me really is reading from Oklahoma fans, saying Jackson Arnold may be scared to throw the ball or makes his decision a little late, which that does worry me because, like I say, Auburn hasn't had to throw it against anybody. Baylor took the pass away and Auburn found a way to win, which is a positive, but yeah, I'm just not sure. I mean, we talk about, I don't think Auburn's a team that can play in a phone booth and win. Some teams we know they want to stay in that phone booth. I think Auburn's a team that needs to spread it out and sling the ball around a little bit. And I think Jackson Arnold can do that. Just haven't seen it yet.
That's fair. All right, let's talk a little bit about this next game. Ralph, where are we going? We going to South
Going-
Florida?
No, we're going
Or
Oxford.
we're going out west? Well, I guess
Out
east of
west?
Norman. East of Norman.
Good grief.
Well, I mean, it's west of you.
Yeah, but not that far out west.
We're going to Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss and Tulane. Had lunch today with someone who's high on the green wave. We talked about this game a little bit, and Ole Miss enters as an 11.5 point favorite. Over under set at 61.5. I'll kind of start with this. I want to pick Tulane. I feel like, Austin Simmons looks like he's going to be able to go in this game. Lane Kiffin says he expects him to play. We'll see the truth of that after the weird situation last week that I don't know, whatever.
I wouldn't play him.
Little
to be
game
honest.
cheap. Oh, the dude behind him's a dude.
Trinidad Chambliss is a dude.
Great
He
name,
looks
by the
really
way.
good.
Yeah.
He looks
He's
really
no-
good.
He's no Trinidad James, but he is
Gold on my watch.
there you go. Demonetized immediately. I will say this about Tulane. Retzlaff we talked about this. He has amplified this team into the national conversation even more. I really want to see Tulane win this game. I'm worried that Ole Miss might just be too much, and this is where you could see Lane Kiffin take advantage of the talent advantage that Ole Miss has in the field. It's hard for me to pick against Lane Kiffin just because I think he's a really good play caller and he understands the nuances of his offense and what other defenses are trying to do. This is an opportunity for John Sumrall and company to earn their third Power 4 win of the year. And, coming off a win against Duke last weekend, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to take Ole Miss to win this. God, and I think I'm taking the points. I don't want to. I want to say Tulane covers, but the Rebels at home, they played Arkansas last week. They should have put up points. I don't think Ole Miss's defense is as good as they were last year. I think there's some interesting storylines with that. But I'm going to take Ole Miss to win and cover. But it would not surprise me to see Tulane cover this. It wouldn't shock me to see the Green Wave drag Ole Miss down into a physical battle and win this game. But as much as I want to, I'm going with the Rebels. Who wants to take it.
I don't think either of these defenses are great. So I definitely like the over. I mean, that's a ton of points, but I do like the over a lot, 61.5. Retzlaff has shown that he can put his Tulane offense in the end zone, and we know what Lane Kiffin's capable of. So I like the over in this game. Picking a side, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure because I agree with you, Bryce. I think the talent, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin can exploit the talent gap and just kind of run things up because they haven't been great to start the year offensively. And Tulane is a team. Sure, they're in the American Conference, but everybody knows Tulane. They're in the national spotlight. This isn't your run of the mill, pay game for Ole Miss. This is going to be a game you look back at the end of the year when you're thinking about playoff resume. If Ole Miss wins enough games, this would be a nice feather in their cap. Man, I don't know. I think the spread's going to be the final score is going to be 10-14. I think it's going to be right in there, which makes it hard to pick a side. I guess I'll take Ole Miss minus 11.5 because I think Lane Kiffin will keep scoring and take advantage of his talent advantage.
Ralph, you talked about Tulane earlier today. What do you think about this? Can the Green Wave pull this off, and is there a path to doing it? What would it look like? And ultimately, your thoughts on this?
There's always a path for Tulane to win this game. I said it earlier today, Bryce, and I don't know how much you've watched of that. If you watched the whole thing or not yet. I said John Sumrall is one of the best coaches in college football, hands down. And Lane Kiffin said today that he'll have a SEC job next year.
Yeah, he's talking about the Ole Miss job.
Yeah, because he's going to Florida. We all know.
I wish he was talking about the Auburn job.
Well, it starts Saturday. We'll find out the crash.
We'll get more of that.
The collapse should start coming this week. Will. but no, look. I believe in what Summerall's done there, and what he did at Troy, especially. He played Ole Miss's first game at Troy. They went up there and they were 21.5-point underdogs. Lost by 18. Offense. It was the first game. Everything was sloppy. Wasn't perfect, but they played up to their ability in that game. He's got way more talent here at Tulane than he did at Troy. He's obviously a little more seasoned coaching now as a head coach. Obviously, he took some licks on the chin last year when he went to play Kansas State at home, lost a tough one. Went to Oklahoma, challenged them, and lost one after halftime, and and obviously the Memphis loss last year, and then the bowl game last year. He's taking some lumps there. I don't think they win this game, but I think they can cover that load and a half. I think that they'll hold the ball long enough, hopefully, to not give Ole Miss enough time to score as many points as they want to. I agree with the over. I just think that I think Tulane just sticks in it long enough. They're just a pain in the butt, basically. They put away. It's hard to put this team away. They can score too late to keep cover the spread. Like that's how I feel how this game's going. Like, but I agree with both of y'all that Ole Miss just leans on our talent late in the game and just says, "Look, we have way more talented players here, and we're going to use them right now." So.
Xavier Harris played one of the 4 players on Ole Miss's roster that played against Tulane last when the Rebels went down there. I guess it was, 2 years ago? They went down to New Orleans.
37-20.
He's having a good start to the season there for Ole Miss's defense. Shaz Preston, the former Alabama Crimson Tide receiver, had a nice game, played three catches for just under 100 yards in the win against Duke. If they can get the offense rolling early, I think Tulane can win this. I think Retzlaff is like I think Retzlaff is
quarterback for that system. I'll say
he is, man. He's athletic. He creates plays. He extends the pocket. We'll see, because I'm interested to watch this while I'm sitting in watching one of the big pay games of the weekend, because I'll be watching this one because I'm interested to see kind of what Ole Miss's defense really is, right? I mean, Arkansas put up some points on them against last week, but if Tulane comes in and puts up 25 plus on this Ole Miss defense, that'd be impressive. And to Will's point and Ralph's point of this, if Tulane wins this game, you have to start talking about them as just an at-large bid team. Like, they could go undefeated, lose the conference title game. And I know it's not the run-of-the-mill teams, but you got a Big Ten win over Northwestern. You've got a ACC win, and you have an SEC win. And so that's what's interesting for this to me. Like, I can't remember who's on the rest of their schedule, but it's going to be.
They have Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah, they get Memphis. They have. I think that's really about it.
They don't play Navy or any. Yeah, they play Navy, or they play Army this year.
They play Army. They play UTSA, which could be a sneaky one.
No North Texas on that schedule this year?
No North Texas, no Navy, no
US
South Florida. No.
Be interesting. They need this one if they want a chance at the at-large bid. It'll be interesting to see. We all across the board, though?
Yeah.
Ole Miss minus 11.5?
No, I'm taking Tulane to cover.
You're taking Tulane to cover. I like it. If you need better coverage, All Natural BS is what's going to cover you from all those bugs. So make sure you use code TCB10 for 10% off your order there today. Look, I swear by it. I'm not going to promote a product I don't use. We use it. Used it today, actually, outside there on the patio. So make sure you're using it, whether it's tailgate season, whether it's on the patio, whatever you got going on. All Natural BS, the bug spray that really, really works. All right, we'll bring it back to you here. We're talking about the final game we're going to preview. And, guys, I picked this one because I wanted to stay kind of in our geographical landscape. And, I don't know how many Utah fans are going to be tuning into Utah and Texas Tech on previewing our show. But Florida-Miami, and the reason I want to talk about this is because I'm just going to go ahead and ask the question. I'm going to say this. I'm taking Miami to cover and win this. I think Miami is very, very good in the trenches, by the way. They bullied Notre Dame in week 1, and I don't think Notre Dame's a bad team. Now, I'm not going to go out there and put them top 10 in my AP poll like some people have decided to do at 0-2. But I think that Miami is very good in the trenches on both sides. We're seeing defensive improvement. Here's another opportunity to prove that. My thing with this game, though, is if Miami blows Florida out, is Billy Napier the head coach on Monday? So whoever wants to take it first, I don't have much to talk about other than the fact that I think DJ Lagway's in a spin cycle right now. I mean, it's not good. It's not very good. There's not an offensive identity. Defensively, they're pretty good, but they're not good enough to carry them. So that's my question. I'm taking Miami to win, to cover, and cover pretty handily.
Yeah, I'm taking Miami, and I'm thinking blowout. Absolute, utter destruction, ending the Billy Napier era, ending the DJ Lagway era. I know there's been some rumors, probably some fan rumors, but I mean it's very believable. I think if this is just a beat down by Miami, similar to what they did against South Florida, then DJ Lagway calls it quits. Billy Napier's fired, and Florida just limps for the rest of the season. It's kind of shocking how quickly things have turned in Florida. After the really good second half of the year Napier had last year and had some momentum in recruiting, and they've been anemic. Their offense has been really bad. They've scored just 26 points in the last 2 games, averaging less than 6 yards a play. It's hard to beat anybody when you're doing that. And Miami's legit. I mean, they've got the Heisman Trophy front runner Carson Beck. They've got a great offensive line, a great defense. All 3 levels of that defense, just too much. I mean, Miami's a national contender for a reason, and I think they're going to show it against Florida. What do they call this rivalry? It's a trophy game, isn't it? Isn't it like the battle? It's like the battle for the wooden canoe or something. It's a very.
I remember that being in like NCAA 14. Seeing that,
I thought that was Florida State, Miami.
Maybe it was.
Is that?
I'm Googling.
It's the War Canoe Trophy, the Seminole War Canoe. I'll pull up a picture of it. That's a sick trophy, by the way.
Is that for Florida Miami, or is it for
the Florida State?
It's Florida Miami. The Seminole War Canoe Trophy, a large carved canoe awarded to the winner of the annual football game from 1950 until the series ended in '87. The trophy is now on permanent display at the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame and is no longer used, though Florida has requested its return. That's hilarious. So Florida says,
"Yeah, Wikipedia."
We'd like to have it back. Miami said, "No, we won it last, and we're done. We're going to keep it, and we're going to put it in our Hall of Fame."
Wikipedia says today the round robin winner of the 3 schools, Miami, Florida, Florida State, receives the Florida Cup for beating the other 2 in the same season. That's lame.
So what does USF get?
They get a 49-12 beating. Yeah,
they get a check from the Gators though, and a check from Miami. So, no, Ralph, what do you think? I mean, if this is a blowout, is Napier done? Like, do you even roll into next season or into next week with him as your head coach?
Is it next week a bye week for them?
They better hope and pray it is. This is amazing. Sorry. AYS says they get a gift card to Golden Corral. That's amazing.
He also told you to respect the AP poll, Bryce. Just let you know that. No comment.
I have my own predispositions about the AP poll.
Don't comment.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with both of you. I think it's a blowout fashion. I think Florida gets embarrassed on this game. That's I saw them last week, man. There's no fight in that team right now. The way they look after the game, they look dead. They look dead inside. Every bit of momentum they had at the beginning of the year was taken out of week 2. The quarterback just doesn't look great. Offense looks, it doesn't move the ball very well. Defense to me is only the best part about this team, and it's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. Their front seven's good. I feel like the defense, the DBs are all right. But Napier I'll tell you one thing, Bryce. I've watched a lot of college games, in person, TV. Will, I know you have, Bryce. We've all seen it. Bryce, you've been in person to a lot of these LSU games. How often do you see the coach kind of stand way off to the side by himself?
Is that what Napier did?
Napier says, like, if they were on offense, and let's say they're putting him at the 50-yard line, and he is behind LSU's defense all the way downfield.
Yeah.
Look, I get it in some instances, like, maybe he's down there talking to his quarterback, or if they're on defense, or maybe he wants a better view of the defense. It's just that he didn't talk to anyone during the game. It just seems like he's not really there. Now, I could be completely wrong about this, and that's just how he's always done things. But it just seems weird. I mean, I every time I watch like an Auburn game, Hugh Freeze is right there with the play every time. You know, Kirby's, if his defense is out there, he is locked in. You know, in Ryan Kelly, he's just kind of there the entire game, or he's getting trucked over by all other linemen, which is. I told Gavin during the game, I noticed it on the screen. I saw him get trucked. I just didn't know who it was at the time.
It was bad.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they fire much of this game. If it's a blowout and it's just absolutely embarrassing, yes. If it's like a 35-10 game, I don't think so. But if they put like 60 on him, yeah, he's done.
So they have a bye week after this. Then they host Texas. They go to Texas A&M. They host Mississippi State. And then it's another bye week before that they get ready for the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
He won't be coaching that.
I said 2 weeks ago he's not coaching that game. I don't think he's coaching in Jacksonville. What I will say about this though, with Napier and this team, they have zero offensive identity. Jaden Ball is a good running back. Like, he's a solid running back. Jackson, their backup, was really good on Saturday, I thought. Did some good things. DJ Lagway's inability to participate late summer into fall camp really has hampered them. He is still immensely talented. Like, you don't just lose your talent. This is, to me, in my opinion, this could get bad. If I had an excess of money, okay, I'm putting an alternate spread of Miami minus 13.5. I think Miami wins this by 2 touchdowns or more. I really think the Hurricanes can do some damage here. Like what I said earlier, I think Mark Fletcher is a guy that will run through you as a running back. They are very, very physical. I think that's something that Mario Cristobal teams haven't had a great identity of doing recently, but I think that they're a physical football team. Florida's defense is going to hold on for as long as they can because they do have some good players. But a lot of people talking about in the comments, undisciplined. You guys obviously saw the 3-game suspension that the coach got for slapping the player. Personally, I think that he should be fired. I think that's, you can't do that. Like, you can't hit somebody. That's crazy. What did you say?
Who was that? Who was that?
It was a former LSU coach. I think. I was seeing some stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong in that. But he slapped Joel Rogers. So, I don't know. It was, I don't know, man. Weird. DJ Lagway is way more talented than this. He didn't see some things. They have some talented receivers. They shouldn't be this bad offensively. Like, they just shouldn't be. And you could tell me, all right, Bryce, LSU's defense is really, really good. Now, yeah, they are. But, man, they looked anemic against South Florida. And, like, all due respect to South Florida, they've got the better talent. I don't know. It's crazy to me. So, Florida, Miami, that's what we got right there on the docket. Before we get into our best bets and games to watch, we put this on some po' boys this past weekend. Elite sauce, Cajun Cousins pepper sauce. We're getting ready to do a Crowder Booth on the Road tour, by the way. Cajun Cousins is going to be the presenting sponsor of that entire tour, which is awesome. So we're pumped for that. We're excited to do that. We'll be announcing some more information out there as well. Also, hoping to do something at the end of the season where we're going to invite a bunch of people out and have a little in-person meetup. And Cajun Cousins hopefully will be a part of that right there. Dev, it's elite. Ralph had crawfish po' boy.
You had the shrimp
po' boy. Can't go wrong with it.
Gavin had
always
catfish.
Shrimp.
You had a catfish po' boy too.
No, Gavin had catfish Friday night.
He did. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. This makes me uncomfortable.
Was it pond raised catfish?
It wasn't pond raised. I'll tell you that. There's no such thing as pond raised down here, unless you're going to Red Lobster. So how does a Red Lobster even survive in South Louisiana? I don't understand that.
It's got to be a front.
There you go. Y'all go to Ezel's.
I can't tell you the last time I went to Ezel's.
No, we go to Rose Hill, actually.
Yeah, okay. You know what, Ralph? Ralph's off the show. Blasphemy that we're even mentioning that place. Blasphemy. Okay, let's talk real quick. Games to watch this weekend. I texted you guys, kind of my game I'm keeping an eye on, but I wanted to get yours first. So, Will, what is the game that you're kind of maybe keeping an eye on that I guess could have some interesting ramifications. How does somebody respond? What are you looking at this week?
Well, I am the resident. I'm the representative to the sicko committee on this show, but there's not many sicko games to partake this weekend.
Okay.
Kind of light slate on the sicko committee. I got to go to Dallas. Playing for the Iron Skillet, SMU and TCU. These two teams don't like each other. All kinds of rumors and all things coming out. Got TCU fans making graphics that Rhett Lashley is going to be the UCLA coach, which I think we can all say with a lot of confidence that will not happen.
Yeah.
But no, they don't like each other. This is a very intense, very fun rivalry. Last year, Sonny Dykes got ejected from the game in this game. So there's always fireworks. It's a noon kickoff. TCU's the home team, so we should all be. Yep, we can watch that. It's on ESPN2. Had to make sure it wasn't on the CW like SMU's last kick.
No, Georgia Tech and Temple are on the CW.
That's going to be my next game to watch. I put it in the Discord, so most people have already seen it. The loser gets Jeff Collins back. So best of luck. Best of luck to all who participate. And I wish that I was able to watch it, but they put it on the channel that the majority of people don't get. So if you can find the CW, turn to Temple and Georgia Tech.
I get the CW on YouTube TV down here in Baton Rouge. It just doesn't show football games. So it's like it's a local programming channel that just doesn't show the games. So I don't know what that means. Georgetown versus Brown. I didn't know UPS was playing this weekend, Ralph.
Oh man, is that should I
don't?
I probably shouldn't say it.
If you say it, the accusations and the allegations will come back around.
That's Brown's second hardest opponent on their schedule this year.
Ralph. What's a game to watch? Also, Will just took mine. I texted it, and he took mine. TCU SMU was mine. No, it's fine. I got another one, though.
I'm going to Illinois, Indiana. I mean, we didn't talk about it tonight, but it's a crazy game that this is not game day because Florida Miami is going to be a blowout. I mean, it's just going to be embarrassing to watch that on national television. Biggest Big 12 or Big 10 game this week. Biggest real in-conference game this week. I know a lot of people don't think it is and don't really care about it, but it's just a bigger game than most people want to say. Illinois is 5.5 dogs on the weekend, on the road this week, and I think they're a better team. Brett Bielema obviously has stepped the game up at Illinois this year. Their win at Duke was a lot more, meaningful going into week 2. So I like Illinois this week. I think they win on the road. I mean, Indiana's still a well-coached team, but I don't think they're as good as they were last year.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
How is Illinois the underdog in this game? That's crazy.
Probably because Indiana's coaching staff is threatened to beat somebody up and bully people. John Hopkins University at Susquehanna, if that's how you say it. It's on Flow Sports. Another barn burner, Southwestern Oklahoma State at Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Where are you looking these games?
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm a yearly Flow Sports trial period guy.
Are you all about some directional schools playing? Because that's what that is.
Well, it's normally for college baseball, early season college baseball. For some reason, it's always on Flow Sports. I do the little trial plan and then cancel.
I got you. I got a couple. All right, bounce back opportunities. Syracuse, Clemson. Syracuse 17.5-point dog on the road. Fran Brown talking about Vegas. Dabo Sweeney yelling into the clouds. Two coaches that love to talk. Interested here because, by God, this is a 12 o'clock kickoff at Clemson. If Syracuse wins this game, that would be unbelievable. That's a bounce back game.
That was on my list for best bets. Syracuse plus 16.5.
I like it. Arkansas, Memphis. The Razorbacks head into Memphis. This is a big shot opportunity. Some nice G5 SEC matchups this weekend. Memphis plus 240 money line, by the way, right there. And I don't hate that, to be honest with you. Nearly a best bet pickup. Yeah, nearly a best bet pick for me was Tennessee minus 38.5 at home against UAB. That was nearly my best bet.
UAB outright.
Oh,
All
Jesus
right.
Where's
Christ.
Mort?
Where's Mort? Bounce back. South Carolina goes to Missouri. The battle for Columbia. Lenore Sellers, is he playing? You know, it is interesting. Georgia State Vandy's another one there. And then I had one more for you in the games that I'm going to be watching.
If Del McGee can pull that one off, Auburn should go hire him on Monday.
Yeah,
Southern
you need
Illinois
something.
at Southeast Missouri State. The Salukis on the road.
See, I don't know what your problem is. Best bets. Let's talk about them here.
Cornell at Albany.
Yeah. You know what?
Pronounced Colonel.
Colonel, go Big Red. Section 103, check out the polos. Ralph, was it so comfortable? Was it just an awesome polo?
So soft.
So soft. Clip that. Awesome polo. Use code TCB10 for 10% off your order today. Make sure you get them in. They also just restocked some of the other gear as well. You can get the new coaches polo, the new coaches hoodie, some hats they restocked, especially those script jackets hats. They restocked those, so make sure you get those. All right, best bets time. Let's revisit, by the way, as we round out the show. As always, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Will and I, 3-1. We're 3-1. Ralph, you're 2-2. So Ralph took the first step towards the Waffle House, where the loser of this challenge will have to endure a 24-hour challenge. Have we decided on the rules that it is one waffle takes off an hour?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so that is going to be the true. That's going to be now the best part about this.
What if a waffle is not on our regular order?
I'm not ordering anything else.
What
I'm
are you
ordering hash
eating at
brown.
Waffle House?
I can get the bowl. Hash
Okay,
brown scrambled.
you have to eat a
one bowl is 1 hour. So
No. It's waffle. It's waffle.
Okay.
If you ate more than one bowl there, you would probably would not be able to finish.
Shout out Berry College versus Carnegie Mellon. That's just a lot of money going at each other there, Andrew.
How's the weather in your heart?
How's the weather in my heart? Defund the program.
They did.
That is true. So best bets, we've decided. Are we going real quick? Syrup or no syrup? Are you allowed to eat syrup?
Yeah, why would you not be able to?
There's people who do no syrup, and so it's just.
Well, that's just them. That's just crazy.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to come up out of context. They're just out there raw dogging waffles, and it is brutal. So,
oh, jeez.
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
never mind. I'm going to stop. Okay, so never mind. So, anyways, 24-hour Waffle House challenge. The best part about this is that Gavin has to go no matter what because he's going to film the whole thing. Even if it's me, I might have to do it like over Christmas, and I'll just come back to Columbus and do it. So
the question is, though, and I asked Bryce this earlier, do we have a 24-hour Waffle House in Columbus?
no, we're going to have to go to a location and get it. So I guess Auburn is going to have one, of course, because college town. There's one in beautiful Armurchie, Georgia, if you want to head up there. I used to do it. No, we're doing it in Charlotte. Gavin
Absolutely
says.
not.
We're going to go to the one on Georgia Tech's campus, right next to campus. That's the one we're doing it. No, in all seriousness. So Will is 2-2, or Will and I are 3-1. Ralph is 2-2 after a tough week last week. So Ralph, throw them up there. This is our best bets of the week presented by FanDuel. Our friends over a partner there with Believe. Will, Buffalo -6.5 versus Troy. You're doubling up.
Yeah. Fade and Troy again. Sorry, Ralph. No Goose Crowder. I watched your say his name. I forget your backup quarterback's name.
Tucker Kilcrease.
That's it. Tucker Kilcrease. Watched him just.
Terrorist.
That's getting clipped. The offense was anemic last week against Memphis.
That's saying it lightly. I can say other words.
And Buffalo is my pick to win the MAC. So I think 6.5 Buffalo at home getting a touchdown. I think this is easy 2-3 touchdown win for Buffalo.
Ralph, North Texas -2.5 at Army. Ralph hates America. So talk us through this decision.
Well, North Texas last week aired it out, man. They put 51 on Washington State at home. Army struggled against Tarleton State week 1.
They lost.
They didn't struggle. They lost.
Yeah,
but then they
sorry.
beat Kansas State.
Well, I don't think Kansas State's very good.
They're better than Tarleton State.
Well, you would hope so. We don't know. We make them play each other now. I like North Texas. They got a good offense. They got a great quarterback. Drew. I think I butchered his name earlier. By the way, Bryce, when I did that show.
Oh boy.
It's nothing. It's not hard. I think it's Mestermaker. I think that's how you say it. Drew Mestermaker. I think it's how
What
you
a
say
name.
it.
I'll take it, Bruni.
Look, I asked Bruni for me. I shouted out Bruni on the show on the recording. They aired it out last week though. They put up some points last week. I think they'll do the same thing. The Army. I like last year. Army was fun to watch. They had a great team, great quarterback. Everyone was behind them. But this year, I don't know. They just haven't looked that great. I think North Texas goes there and they just put points on the board and score fast and score often.
Dev says Rice at Charlotte. Take Rice -1.5.
Absolutely not. We don't bet against food.
Arkansas State -5.5 at Kennesaw State's my pick. Arkansas State actually did pretty well against Iowa State last weekend. Played very physical with them. Could there be a letdown going on the road? I'm going to disrespect our brethren in Marietta and say that Arkansas State beats the Owls at home. To be honest with you, I'm just going to go ahead and say this for a
fired a friend of the program for no reason.
Yeah, they fired a friend of the program for zero reason. I'm going to say this: if there's one person that watches this video, no one on the group of people here, but if there's someone who just like, hey, I don't have anything to do at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock Eastern, just DM us and I'll send you a ticket to this game. Like you can just go. That might be just the reward. Arkansas State -5.5 at Kennesaw State, and just a lot of weirdness in our best bets this week. But Ralph, I want you to hold your own press conference before we get out of here. Your thoughts on potentially falling behind in the standings, what you told me earlier today, maybe your frustration level.
Look, it has nothing to do with anyone in here. I said though I'll be frustrated if I lose this year after being the one who did not lose the last 2 seasons, and we didn't have a punishment last 2 years. We have one this year, and it's the 1 year I might lose.
But you will honor the punishment.
Absolutely.
Shall be thrust upon you.
Absolutely.
I still think Bryce should hang out with you for at least a few hours for that Navy bet against Notre Dame in Ireland.
He won't.
Well, Ralph's coming to my house for a week and a half in a month, so
I'm not there for a week and a half.
That'll suffice right there. No,
we got to babysit for an hour, so
there you go.
I take some advantage on that.
That's terrifying. By the way, Addie's
don't tell my mom that.
By the way, Addie's 4-0, and she's getting ready to pick this one this weekend. Well, got to start tagging College Game Day.
Will you please put one of those teams in the right hand?
Ralph, Ralph gives out free marketing and then just spoils secrets live.
I'm not the one who said that to me today, by the way.
I didn't say it live on the show.
I didn't say you did either. I was told that today. So look, this is what I'm saying. You said this to me ago.
I'm very confused. Hooray. There you go. We appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Big weekend of college football up ahead. It's going to be a lot of fun. Exactly. Can we get a GeoGuessr stream? Oh, my
Yes, God. I will do it.
That would be amazing.
I will do it. I will do it.
Late night, Thursday night GeoGuessr stream or Friday night GeoGuessr streams. That would be wild. We appreciate you watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Shout out to all of our sponsors there as well. As always, Will Mandis, Ralph Larry. My name is Bryce Koon. We will catch you next time on the Credit Booth. Thanks for watching.
Pile in here and make yourself feel at home. The crowded booth is coming on. The Crowded Booth with Bryce Koon.